All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an extreme stream. Apologize for the lack of volume right there. My son just brought me something yummy to eat right as I was starting the stream. So there you go. All right, everyone. You are officially allowed to sell your Bitcoin again. Looks that way, doesn't it? So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. I would have jumped on earlier, but I was not at home. I was actually out and about running errands, went and saw a client, had to drop off my kids, had to go pick up both my kids. And that's how life goes, guys. BNB is jumping, huh? Let's go check out BNB. I got BNB USD up 2%. Which means BNB Bitcoin is probably up a little more than 2%. Where's my... Oh, that's top 20 cryptos. That's why. That's not the Power Hour spreadsheet. There's the Power Hour spreadsheet up 5%. There you go. BNB. Bam, pop out right there. What's our note from? Did we... 16.8 was our buy point. Looks like we didn't. Did we skip BNB in the Power Hour this morning? I do not remember going over this. I would have identified that. Anywho, yeah, pretty good volume there in BNB. Pretty good for a trade. I would not mind that at all. Especially coming out of lows with the recent announcement. If you guys did not hear, apparently the SEC disapproved another Bitcoin ETF. Not the one that everyone's thinking about, but another one, the Winklevoss twins, their second chance at a Bitcoin ETF. The SEC said, no, thank you. We don't like the fact that Bitcoin is traded mostly outside of the U.S. is basically their main argument from what I heard. And if the SEC is not going to be hypocrites, then pretty much every Bitcoin ETF is not going to be approved, because that is a pretty fundamental point to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, is that it's decentralized. It's not central in one place. It is not based in the U.S., and they don't like that. So we may not see a traditional Bitcoin ETF for quite some time, at least this year. It looks like at least this year. So let's go back to Bitcoin and kind of check out the carnage. The carnage, 3% on Bitcoin. These are the top 20 cryptos, ladies and gentlemen, plus some horrible coins that are up here for some unforeseen reason. I have BLX up here because it's a long-term representation. Bitcoin down 3%. We've got Bitcoin Cash down 4%. XLM down 10%, which was putting in a nice little area here. So far, tanking. The market does not like this decision at all, and I probably would anticipate most of the money being removed, or at least sloshing back into the alts. But it's not even sloshing back. It's just an egregious sell-off. Maybe people are taking that money they were going to put into Bitcoin, and they were going to go ahead and take it back out and put it in their swimming pools back at home. Ethan, we're live on YouTube here. How's your popsicle?
Good.
Ethan, say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
James, say hello, everyone. They're sucking on popsicles. James, over the tile, please. Ethan, keep him over the tile, okay? He's going to drip. He's going to drip really bad. Close the door, please. Over the tile, James. Don't drip. All right. Hello, Ethan and James. Guys, everyone saying hi to you. All right, $290 billion market cap. The market is over, guys. Just take your money and go home. It's done. It's done. I can call you Jimmy? Well, hello, Jimmy. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, yeah, you can see a pretty sharp decline there in the market cap. It looks like an immediate response. So we'll have to see if this is going to be just a bit of FUD, or if it's going to be a big bit of FUD. We'll have to wait and see all of that. It's really not a... Okay, the sell's getting a little worse. Sell-off's getting a little worse. Now, I recorded a public video last night that I didn't put out because I'm retarded. And what I talked about in that video is, and this is something that we talked about on the Real Crypto Power Hour a little bit ago, is likening this run-up with the current run-up here in Bitcoin. And what I said was, if we can get away without this big volume candle action here, we may be okay. Well, looks like, I don't know, guys. I'm not a fortune teller. I mean, no one could have foretold this, but there's a big swath of red volume. So it looks like we're probably not going to have a great, meaningful, sustained uptrend if we're going to have this kind of crazy volume. On the 2-hour chart here, we have volume exceeding. Looks like the breakout, which would not be bullish. This would, in fact, be bearish. And therefore, I would stay defensive on the market at this moment in time. Even a rally right now probably would be sold off, to be quite frank with you, with this type of action. Just technically, it may not, that usually doesn't work out. Now, that being said, if we see another green candle just as aggressive as this in terms of volume, right? Like if this was the case here, and we pop up here, and then we have a nice green candle here. Obviously, it won't be that big, but if it does something like that, we have really good volume, then yes, we probably can say the bulls, did support Bitcoin, but it's going to take quite a bit of volume in order to make that happen. And it's not coming in right now, so I don't know when and where it would come in. If we go back and check out the volume over here during this part of the previous uptrend, we had the higher volume sell-off here. We kind of slowed down a little bit. There we go. We kind of slowed down a little bit, and then we had a declining volume. And then we have one big red candle. So not a big green candle, a big red candle. And then we were rising here on really not a lot of volume comparatively. So this is the run up from here to the actual top, was right about there. And you can see there the volume in Bitcoin was not rising, it was falling. Had a little bit of an increase right here on these candles, but really where the run occurred into new highs, it was in vapor. It was vapor volume. It wasn't really there. And so it started to roll over. I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly like this. All I'm saying is that if we do get higher in Bitcoin, you really need to make sure the volume is there to get you excited or not get you excited. And you're going to have to keep things in relative terms, because that's kind of how the market works. It's all based on relativeness to recent trends and overall trends. And if there's a trend at a previous price level, that's important too. Lots of stuff to keep in mind. Lots of stuff to keep in mind. Johnny B, okay, what was the news? I thought no decision until September. There was an ETF decision. Apparently there's 2 Bitcoin ETFs. I thought it was just the one. But apparently there's 2 Bitcoin ETFs. One of the applications the SEC disapproved, which caused this sell-off. And that disapproval was regarding the Winklevoss twins' second Bitcoin ETF try. And the reasons that it failed is because Bitcoin, the SEC doesn't like the fact that Bitcoin is not traded majority. A majority of Bitcoin is not traded in the United States. In a nutshell, without going in depth, I haven't really read the press release. I just watched a video that someone posted on the Slack chat room there. But it makes sense. So I think, let's see if I can post this copy link address. This is the actual video that I watched. You guys can go ahead and feel free to watch that if you want to. I posted that down there in chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go take a peek. So that's the general news. It's not, the sell-off's pretty bad. It's not continuing though. We'll give it a couple hours, give it until tomorrow. But it probably will not, it probably will kill this run. Okay, the run may not fail immediately. Going back to our prior example, just because something dies here doesn't mean it's immediately going lower. This thing actually rose up and made slight new highs before falling over. We may do something similar. And in response, we have the altcoins responding like garbage. Stellar down 11%, was having a couple of good days there. VeChain, they still have it here as VEN. Do they not have VET? They do not have VET on CoinMarketCap. That's interesting. But they do have VEN. Okay, so VEN still says up 15%. I'm assuming they mean VET here, but we'll have to wait and see there. And then we have all these other altcoins are now red in mid single digits, high single digits. So I would assume that, looks like Tether's green. Guys, why don't you go ahead and grab yourself some Tether, up 0.26%. All right, guys. Hassan, do I recommend selling? It may pull back a little bit here. It may come up a little bit, but I think in the long run, this move may generally be done with this type of selling action. It may generally be done. It may take a while for it to play out. Very similar to the last, the last top right here in terms of this volume. And if we go back over here, actually, we have a similar form at this first top, similar high volume sell-off. So when you guys see these really, really high volume selling blocks, you have to keep in mind that selling's not done yet, and this may kill the move. I didn't think it would happen on news. I didn't expect an ETF decision, but you know, it is something we've been discussing. High volume sell candles. I was actually thinking to myself this morning, I'm like, I don't know how likely it is that we get a high volume sell candle. Like, why would we get one? And apparently the market decided to answer my question. And make me sound really smart, at least to myself. At least to myself. High volume sell candle. I can't imagine that. The market was looking very, very good. And, you know, like I said, it may turn around. If for some reason it turns around instantly and the volume isn't very great, that's a good time to short. If it goes sideways for a while and then fails, that's good. I mean, the shorting possibilities from here look like a much stronger case than the long possibilities in my, at least for like a longer swing trade. You're gonna have an area here for the time being that we're gonna probably chop around. I'm just gonna call it right there. I'm gonna call it, you know, down to about, you know, I don't know, some kind of the top of this basing area is where I place this box at. This, basically it's a no trade zone for me right now until I see something very definitively moving in one direction or another. I'm just going to kind of not trade it, let the market work itself out. Our last great trade, guys, as we know, was down at 6,400 and 6,850. That worked out really well, and if you would have held those all the way up here, even now you would have enjoyed a 23% gain. A couple members of our Power Hour closed out their trades up higher in here during this little topping area. So, you know, good for them. They're you know, looking down here for some stuff. Probably, I don't know. Probably not going to buy it. They're probably going to stay stagnant with me and on the sidelines right now. I did close out my Bitcoin trade based on this action. You know, this is a whale fight. I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to stay out. That's kind of how we play the markets, guys. Find out tomorrow that's fake news. I don't know. Usually CNBC doesn't focus on fake news, and it was an actual SEC thing. It wasn't some, you know, douchebag YouTuber saying, "Oh, SEC disapproved." You know, it was CNBC talking from an SEC press release. Pretty sure it's legit. So there you go. And now we have, so yeah, I would like I said, I liquidated my positions. What happened to me is I was at a client's house today, and then I dropped my kids off, blah, blah, blah. Looked at my phone, saw that everyone's like, "Oh, Real Crypto needs to do an extreme stream right now." And I'm like, "Oh, what the hell happened?" And I look and I see Bitcoin 8,000. I'm like, "Oh, this is fun. I'm on the road, can't trade, and still got to go pick up my kids." And an hour and a half later, I'm here. And it's 115 degrees outside. Pretty hot today. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That's about it. Maybe I shouldn't have been so happy about Facebook 24% drop. Where'd that come from? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We have a toppy area that in time is probably going to be broken to the downside, maybe even the upside. But wherever this tends to reverse off of this drop will more than likely be a place we can draw that rectangle from. And we're probably going to bounce around a little bit. And I'm not going to be too happy with my trading. I'm going to, unless I see something blatantly obvious in real time and I'm sitting here, there's no real need to try to force trades in this area. You just kind of have to let the market come to you. That's the best way to do it. Easy trading, ladies and gentlemen. If trading is hard, you're working too hard. You know, I actually heard the gentleman I was talking with today has multiple business interests, and he said his accountant said he told me that his accountant said to him, "Hey, you can't worry about what you don't have." And I feel that really applies to trading. You can't worry about what you don't have. You know, you're sitting here on the sidelines in cash, and then you're looking at a potential trade. And it's a pretty small trade. Maybe you see what you think is a bottom, and so you worry about missing the trade. Well, you don't have that money. You know, that's, I don't know, it may seem counterintuitive, but it made a lot of sense to me. It's like, you know what? You know, you can't worry about the money you don't have. You can't worry about, you can't worry about all this stuff. You just have to worry about what's in front of you and what you can control. It's really hard to control choppy situations. Okay, you can't control that. You know, you can't control this. You basically have control. You know, you can't control this situation here, right? Like you can't control that. You can control the rest of this. To be quite honest with you, you have control because during if you're watching during these areas and then you're buying during the run-ups, and I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, but if you are in a situation where you think you're like, it's going to go up, it's going to break this, it's going to break that. You have no control over that. But when it does break, that's your time. That's when you see opportunity. So don't worry about the money, don't worry about the stuff you don't have. Worry about the stuff you do have and can control. And that's what technical analysis gives you, is a way to kind of control your actions in the market. Anyway, kind of got on a tirade there. Michael's still holding a bag at 8,300. That may not be a wise decision here. Could get a bounce. We could get a bounce right here. But so far the volume is just leaning into Bitcoin in a negative fashion. You can probably anticipate further downside action. Looks like there could be a good point for a measured move here. Right about, if I can draw this properly. Right about there, that if you take this as a measured move, a little pause here, that takes us back down to 76. Maybe bounce us off of the that 7,500 level, something like that. There's a possibility. I wouldn't be shorting right now either, Cool Frost. Absolutely not. I would be abstaining from this market. Let it work itself out. Let it give you a short entry point. This isn't enough reward for the risk, in my opinion. I mean, we could throw right back into it and give yourself like a weird dead cat. It could throw back right here to the 80-50 level pretty quick, and then your 2% risk to the downside is met with a 2% risk to the upside. You're basically at a 1-to-1 risk reward, I think, right here. I'm not trying to catch any falling knives. I'd rather wait for things to settle down and then try to get into our trades. So, wait for Bitcoin to sell, wait for it to show its cards, wait for it to give us consolidation some time, and then you can think about getting involved. So that's kind of how I'm playing that, guys. That's kind of how I'm playing that. Ferris, actually, I disagree with that. You always have to worry about what you don't have. It's a main key to success. Worry about what you don't have. I don't think worry is the word you're thinking of. I think focusing on a goal is good. I think focusing on a goal is good, but I don't think that you can What's up, Robert? Yeah, focusing on a goal is good. Like, you don't have your goal. But what I'm saying is you can't worry about, what I'm trying to say is you can't worry about all these little oscillations in a nutshell. Like, too many people get caught up in the minutia of the charts instead of looking at the bigger picture. And that's what I'm saying. You can't control the oscillations in the chart. You don't have a great probability of success unless you have a very good short-term trading strategy, which is not my style. So if that's your style, I'm probably going to, I don't know, maybe I'll give you a bigger, longer-term perspective. But that's not my particular style. I like to trade with the breakouts where the odds are really in my favor. Okay? The odds are really in my favor. So, yeah, I don't worry about the things out of my control. Now, can you make plans for some unforeseen circumstances? Absolutely. That's what insurance is for. You should always, and that's why we have stop loss orders, right? In case our thesis for an investment is incorrect, you have a stop loss order. But I don't think you worry about it. I think you make a plan and you trade it. Such as business, such as life. I mean, like, if you don't have a plan for your personal finances, like if I asked everyone here, what's your net worth? What's your approximate net worth? The people that can give me that number are going to be more successful than the people that are not going to give me that number, in a general sense. Because if you know your net worth, that means you're conscious of the decisions you're making financially. Doesn't mean you worry about them, but you're conscious about them. So, anyway, it's kind of a larger philosophical debate. Don't know if I necessarily want to go too deep into that. And Ferris disagrees. Okay. All right, getting a little bounce right here. We'll see what happens. Mexican Charlie Lee, the bad news is that there was an ETF that was declined by the SEC. There's another one coming up, but they disavowed the second Winklevoss Twins application. They threw it away. Where am I going? There we go, TradingView. My charts are way far apart today for some reason. There we go, much better. Absolutely, Monkeytron. If everyone agreed we wouldn't have markets, it would just be a line. It would just be a line. It's pretty much what it would be. Out up 2%, Van up 20%. We got ETC, or VET up 20%. Got BNB up 2%. Most everything else in the red right now. So yeah, I definitely think you kind of let things flatten out here. Let them flatten out. All that kind of stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me here today. I appreciate it. We're about a half hour into the power hour. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Can't blame you. I haven't put a video out in a while. Sorry about that, but. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel so in case I do put a video out, you guys can take advantage of that. And yeah, what's our like count today, guys? Anyone got the like count? I don't have the video up. Where's the video? How do I get my own? I guess I have to copy and paste myself like a peasant. Control C, Control V is too much for me to do. 22 likes. Oh, now I got 30 likes. That's good. All right, guys, get that up. Got 116 people watching. We should have 117 likes because I'm sure someone left. Ooh, a dislike. That's it. One dislike. I'm gonna go cry in the corner now. So, appreciate you being here, ladies and gentlemen. What are you guys doing? Are you guys holding Bitcoin positions? Are you guys general traders? Who's got a what's up, Paul? I keep forgetting that your name is Paul.
Daddy, when Ethan said he wouldn't let me play with his Legos, and
Important stuff here, guys. Hold on.
And I said, and I built a baby dragon,
Oh, why don't you go make it a dad? Go make it a daddy.
No, and I want the mommy dragon. It's the blue one.
Want me to get the dragon down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to go get the dragon down. Very important stuff here. Okay, I'm back and I have acquired the dragon for my child. There you go. There you go. Baby dragon. And my kids got some Ninjago dragon Lego sets. Pretty fun. Pretty fun stuff. Jesus says, working on learning trading is very difficult. Pulling the trigger is what I'm finding the most difficult. You are definitely on to what most people struggle with, to be quite frank with you. So what happens is people go from hesitation to pull the trigger to over pulling the trigger. There is a very delicate balance there, Giza, that is, it's kind of the minutia. It's the art to trading, okay? The art is just the experience, I guess, and kind of, you know, understanding markets and being patient and I think understanding the markets and kind of how things work. It takes a while to get that big picture, you know, in your head, and then eventually your brain does all the work subconsciously and just sends you the trigger signal, similar to, you know, remember when you were driving. Remember that when you were first backed up a car, everything was backwards. You're looking in your mirrors. You're looking behind you. You're looking for kids. You got, you know, maybe you kind of turn in a weird direction. I don't know, but everything's awkward. Same with 3-point turns and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually you do it without even thinking about it. Your body assimilates all this information and coalesces it somehow, and then eventually, if you're lucky, you'll make money on it. Eventually you'll make money on it. So yeah, the hard part is to not go from hesitation to over pulling the trigger. Okay, you don't want an automatic weapon here. You basically want a sniper rifle. Okay, that's a good way to put it. While trading, you want to have a sniper rifle. There's guys that you know sit on top of those mountains for days before they take their shot. There's stories about the Vietnam War and snipers, at least, you know, that we hear in the U.S. You know, you hear all these stories, and there's people that those snipers sit there. They're very patient. They sit there, they hold their breath, they control their breathing, they wear gully suits or guinea suits or whatever they're called, and they're very patient. And you have to be the sniper of the market. So there you go. Now, so far, this action has stopped above this little prior consolidation, which is bullish. It did break the 8,000 level. That will be fairly large psychologically for a few people. It'll be fairly psychological. So we'll see if it can get back above 8,000. That may be something that, you know, we'll have to see what happens there. That may be a point of contention going forward, just psychologically, being back in the 7s. But so far, holding above this whole consolidation level here so far, as well as this prior high, and then you have this 7,500 level to contend with, which we were playing around here for a while. So plenty of levels for us to bounce off of down here until we egregiously break a couple of more. We're probably not gonna die immediately, but going forward, if this kind of volume comes in the market off of some news like that, and it's not the worst news in the world, but it is a blow to Bitcoin. And, you know, to be quite honest with you, the Bitcoin market is kind of holding on to a thread. I mean, if I do got to be frank, it's really just kind of holding on. And so I think, you know, I think you need to see if any rallies are met with immediate selling and how aggressive the selling is versus the rallying. And then that will kind of give you a bit of indication as far as, is the rally going to continue, or is it eventually doomed to failure? And this may be the first chink in the armor that we've seen. We just have to see how much further, how many more chinks we get there. Yep, absolutely, Jesus. So it's been holding out is great, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, you do have to pull the trigger when the time comes. You just have to ignore all the emotions, and to be honest with you, to kind of, we do have a power hour over here at Real Crypto, and if you're having a problem with that, we go over, we talk about when to pull triggers, how to pull triggers. We talk about everything over here in the power hour. $50 a month. It actually is going to go up to $65 a month as of August 6th, I believe, is when that's going to happen. We're also going to launch the stocks power hour. I don't have the website quite ready for that stuff, so you still have this. But if you are interested in the power hour, by the way, get involved before the next couple of weeks, because the price will be increasing a little bit there. So, and if you need some we do mentoring. We go over charts. We pretty much go over 100 charts in depth on Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, the top cryptocurrencies. And if you need some guidance, it's pretty good value too. I mean, it's for what you get. We do an hour every single day, including Saturday and Sunday. So we're pretty much on top of it. Look at BNB. We have looked at BNB in the past. We can look at BNB again. I'm sure everyone's looking at it because it's one of the ones still working. I did want to address some of these questions. I've seen a few. So let me go address some of these questions, and I'll pull up BNB. So here's the sheet for the power hour. It's quite extensive. It's way too long. We need to cull it a little bit again. And there you go, BNB continuing its upward move on higher volume. This is good for BNB. We talked about this at the top of the stream, and it was doing good and still continuing. So go BNB. BNB looking really good there. Now this is also against Bitcoin too, so we'll have to, as long as BNB USD is rising in value, you're making a relatively good decision in terms of fiat value. Because if Bitcoin's falling and this is rising, then fiat, you're essentially flat. And I don't know if you necessarily want that. You tell me. Everyone's a little bit different. Okay. Let's go see here what we have in terms of chat. Hold on a second. .com says, Real Crypto, do you own any physical gold or silver? Absolutely not. That is the stupidest thing. Oh, absolutely not. I do not own gold. I do not own silver. Nor will I ever. They are the worst they're the worst performing asset classes over the long term. It's absolute garbage. I was basically told to go at 6,400 and froze, Monkeytron. We got to work on that, man. We got to work on that. You just got to force yourself to do it. Go in with a small position, break that ice, right? And then you can move it along. That's an easy way to do it, is to get in small. I don't know why people are freaking out about the SEC news. Chill, people. People aren't, to be quite honest with you, no one really cares about news until it affects price. And so people are freaking out about the price, not necessarily the news. Randy, when you go long, do you actually usually buy the stock crypto itself? Do you borrow it to go long with margin? I generally only margin trade in extremely bullish markets, typically, but I do leverage trading on BitMEX, with a very small portion of my account. That's basically as leverage as I get in crypto and stocks. In stocks, I'm actually only trading in my Roth IRA. I don't have a cash account that I'm trading, so I cannot trade on margin. But back when I did have cash accounts, I traded on margin very infrequently, only when it was very lined up with only when my strategy was working, making money, and the market was going in my direction. Then it would amplify with margin, but only under those circumstances. Shorting and going along with margin has advantage that your buy does not affect the asset price. No, your buy always affects the asset price. It's a literal buy on the market. You're generally just borrowing the money. Have I seen Anton's 10 Secrets to Success? No, I have not. I don't know who Anton is. Is it good? I'll look it up. Anton 10 Secrets to Financial Success. I have not. I'll go check it out. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, we have broken the trend line created by the 63,7,300 prices. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, I think I drew that earlier while I was talking, I think, and I think we did break it. 63, yeah, right there. Absolutely. Doing well, holding out for probable trades. You think that we get that horrible whipsaw? You think we get to that horrible whipsaw area that is now support? I don't know. We're getting a little bit of support right now in Bitcoin, so it may stop here. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know exactly. I know it's pausing, so yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. My crystal ball is broken. Very difficult to say exactly where things are going to go. So Johnny B, no, Johnny B has a question about shorting. It says you only affect the price when you close your short. No, you always affect the price. If you sell it, you still sell it. And then when you cover it, you still buy it. So it's not a big yeah, it affects the price in both directions. Would a buy order placing above 83.50 be a good idea right now? If I'm not going to be my computer or phone this weekend, are too hard to say right now. I would probably say not, RP, to be honest with you. I would be too worried about a double top or an eclipse and then a failure. I would just say avoid at this particular moment in time. So you got the weekend. It's only Thursday, so you got tomorrow. I doubt we'll have any major, more clear signals tomorrow, but I wouldn't do anything arbitrary up at these levels. We are susceptible to rolling over at any time, essentially. And we can also chop around up here too. So we don't have to fall, we don't have to roll up, we can go sideways. But I would just be abstaining if you're not going to be active. Monkeytron says power hour is still a super bargain. Sometimes the power hour equals 3 hours. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of overtime sessions in the power hour, usually an hour and a half. I'd say our average is an hour and a half. We sometimes have to stick to an hour, occasionally go over to 2. We did do a 3-hour power hour once, and we've had some other issues as well there. But yeah, we've had some long. Is the price increase on power hour for new members or for everyone? For new members only, RP. For new members only. If you guys think it's a good bargain and want to resubscribe at 65, I won't stop you. But power hour's getting pretty full. Cancellation rates have fallen off of a cliff. Pretty much, I don't really have very many cancellations at all lately, and it's just been increasing. So, yeah, try to keep it minimal. I may do a second. I don't know. I would say a second power hour. The problem with me and doing these live streams like this, the live stream I'm doing now is easier because I just jump on. There's nothing. But if something's scheduled, I do have other things going on in my life other than trading cryptocurrencies and trading in general. And if I like bulk up all of my day, then I'm basically tied to my house to, try to meet the obligation that I'm putting forth to everyone. And then I can't do stuff with my kids and all that. So I don't want to do that. That's why I haven't done a second power hour in the afternoon, because it would just be a very big time suck from my side. So that's kind of how that is. Thanks, Johnny B. Yeah, you know what? I thought about something I could do to kind of be more active with everyone and give more in-depth analysis, and the power hour is kind of what popped in my head, and yeah, it's worked out really well. Someone in the Slack chat room asked me a question. Randy, what color is your Lambo? It's actually clear. I have a clear Lambo. It's just clear. Okay. Trying to read some questions. Every time I scroll down, it jumps to the bottom of the page. It's kind of a weird scrolling system, so. BNB goes up when Bitcoin goes down against the dollar. So, remember the guy in the Slack chat room says, someone else says that Crown says low volume doesn't necessarily mean about to turn down. You mean high volume? He said it's a sign of consolidation. Trying to get clarification. His question. So I'll pull up the Slack chat. It doesn't really show anything crazy. Just so you guys know what I'm looking at. Oh, Robert. Looks like Robert's in there too. Sorry, Robert. I didn't see your question there. I think to sell below 78. We'll get to that in a second. He was saying low volume. So, no, it's a high volume. It's a high volume candle. Yeah, may signal sellers are definitely willing to sell, so caution is warranted. And that's the thing with these high volume candles, ladies and gentlemen, is usually the more recent one wins. And so while we had these two really nice candles, now we have a higher candle really dropping us down here. And you can see we still haven't necessarily bounced up. We're living lower, so we may drift lower over the next few hours. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. That's why I'm abstaining from the market. Guys, when something's broken, so essentially we're kind of living in a mini tornado right now, and if a mini tornado kind of blows the porch off your house, usually wait for the tornado to pass before you start repairs. I tend not to pick up the hammer and the nails in the middle of the tornado. I will let the tornado pass, go take a drink of lemonade or something, and then go repair my porch. That's kind of how you got to take your trading. Can't overreact in either direction. Just is what it is. As long as you keep your risk manageable and have your position sizes manageable, then you can, whipsaws like this can afford you. And if you have great entry points, all the better. All the better. That's kind of how it works. Fair says, I make better money playing poker than I would by holding gold. I agree. Yeah, gold is a garbage investment. Why do you think if gold was such a great investment, why are there so many damn commercials for it? They don't have to, if something's really that great, like they don't really try to sell you a Ferrari on Fox News, do they? No, they don't. They don't try to sell you a Ferrari on Fox News or CNBC or any other network, do they? No, you'll go to them. Johnny B, you are correct. If you short Bitcoin and crypto, you're not borrowing the money. You're borrowing the coin asset and selling it. So you are selling it. You're correct. You're selling it, so you're introducing liquidity to the market. And then when you cover it, you're removing that same amount of liquidity from the market. So you're still buying and selling or selling and buying whatever you're borrowing. So it does affect the market in that fashion. Tyler just hopped on now, bought the other day at 80.20 and sold at 82.30 and now just rebought at 78.40. Cool. Very nice. Well, let me know when you're going to sell. Profitable trading is good trading. I really don't care how you do it, to be quite frank with you. If you're making money, as long as your account's kind of doing this, you're doing good. Doesn't even have to be doing this. It could be doing this, as long as you're not doing this. So, see the difference there? Big difference. Anthony, huge believer of Nano. Is it better to ride Bitcoin when it rises rather than constantly holding Nano? What are good indicators for when to trade Bitcoin for altcoins? Let me digest that question a little bit. First of all, please don't hate me for this, but the Nano chart is garbage. It's atrocious. I hate it and I wish it never existed. It's down so far. It has not even rallied really with the markets at all. During this last bull cycle, it's abstained. It's really just, I'm sorry if you have a lot of money in Nano, you're probably down considerably, and I can't say you're going to get it back anytime soon. It's just been obliterated. We've been avoiding this coin for a while. We did take a note of this possible inverted head and shoulders here. It did try to break out and then immediately failed. So that does not instill confidence in something. To be honest with you, regardless of whether you like the technology or not, let me put it to you this way. Let's say you really, really like, what's a good way to put this? Let's say you really like Call of Duty, okay? Like you love Call of Duty. It's a video game, right? It's fun. You like the tech, it responds well, you got a good computer or PlayStation depending on what you play it on, and you really like it. Are you going to invest money in a video game? Honestly, would you invest money in a video game? Like, would you buy $10,000 worth of copies of Call of Duty? I don't think you would, because the value of those copies of Call of Duty would do this. They would go down, because the next Call of Duty is going to come out and it's going to drop your investment by 50%. Not to mention you won't even make a return, owning Call of Duty. So just because you like a tech or a game or a product, especially in cryptos, doesn't mean it's a good investment for dollars. Doesn't mean it's a good investment for dollars. And this is a great situation. We had a conversation with a few Power Hour members, I think back here, when we had this flat consolidation, and it was looking okay. It wasn't crashing. And I just noted this thing is in new lows. It's extending new lows. And then we formed this inverted head and shoulders. We noticed one buy point. And then once it failed it, we said, we're done. And it's continued to make new lows. So from over here, it's down 30%. Okay, this can continue to go down 30% forever. Going down 30% every now and then, it can keep doing that. There's 30%. There's the next 30%. I mean, it can continue to go down 30% forever, to be quite frank with you. So do not invest in something, especially in cryptos, because you like it. You need to invest in something if you're going to have an expectation of your money being returned to you. Your money. Money, 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 money. I don't even think I answered your question. Is it better to ride Bitcoin when it rises rather than constantly holding Nano? Yes. What are good indicators for when to trade Bitcoin for altcoins? So when Bitcoin is... So it depends. It depends on your strategy with that specific thing. Because if certain altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin at certain times. And you kind of have to understand the market cycle that we're in. Are we in an alt run or a Bitcoin run? Or, recently we've been in a Bitcoin run. Before that, everything's been crashing. So you're not really involved in too much at all. Now, in this particular market environment, now we're back into everything crashing, with Bitcoin taking its most recent dive. So I would be involved in Bitcoin when Bitcoin's rising. I would be in Feed or Tether when Bitcoin is not rising. And I would be in altcoins when altcoins are rising relative to Bitcoin or to USD, depending on your trading plan. It's a difficult question to answer because there's a lot that goes into that. What are good indicators for when to trade Bitcoin for altcoins? The simple answer is you buy altcoins when altcoins are rising, and you buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin is rising. It's fairly kind of simple from that perspective, but sometimes timing that can be difficult. I'm sure a million other comments came in that since I scrolled down. How do you know if recent pop was people moving from alts to Bitcoin or new buyers coming in? Well, AJ, one thing that I've been doing, and it's in my video that I haven't posted yet, is I've been kind of looking at the market cap a little bit. The market cap has been sloshing around. It has not been aggressively increasing in market cap. And so to me, this is just money sloshing around. And moving from alts into Bitcoin, Bitcoin into alts. You can see Bitcoin dominance rising here and the alts selling off. So this to me says that money's just changing hands from one to the next. That's kind of how I'm viewing the market right now. Tyler says, what's the benefit of using BitMEX? I use GDAX for Bitcoin, Litecoin, then Binance, KuCoin for my alts. So BitMEX is a platform where you can use leverage, and it's a great way to lose a lot of money, to be quite frank with you. If you're not an experienced trader and do not have extreme discipline, I say just avoid BitMEX. I've got an affiliate link down below if you want to try it, but if you're not very experienced and have great discipline, I would just avoid BitMEX. Just reading some questions, going through, trying to get down to the bottom. I'm going to end the stream here in a little bit, guys. Probably at the top of the hour. So get your last minute questions in, guys. Ferris asking about BNB. We've already checked out BNB. It is behaving pretty well. Still holding there towards the highs. Not sure, what you want me to state there. But it's looking good. The volume is very good here coming off of this little double bottom here. I don't mind this setup at all. You've got a base. It broke out from the base. It's trying to get higher. BNB could go for another run for a while. That would be really nice. Good volume here. I'm enjoying this action. It's very healthy. Robert Kiyosaki is a huge fan of gold and silver, mainly because they're recession proof. Okay. They're also not making money proof. Yeah, gold and silver are just horrible investments. Horrible, horrible investments. If you're going to stash money in something, I'd much rather you put it into an index fund than gold or silver. Yes?
Can I have something to eat in the pantry?
What would you like to eat in the pantry?
the extra,
Thank you, Gorod. Appreciate that.
Daddy.
I'm listening to you, but you need to like finish your sentence.
May I please? Can I have the chocolate bars? Can I have the chocolate on the bottom, please? Can I have those things?
Can Ethan get one for you?
Yeah.
Okay, you can get one if he can get it. Ethan, you can get him a bar. All right, Tyler, thanks for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate the A+ TA helps me control emotions. Yeah, that's part of the hardest part is controlling those emotions, Tyler. I greatly appreciate your super chat. Post that. You know, Monkeytron? So here's what happened, dude. So left the power hour. My website's broken. So I started working on the website. And then I had to go to my client meeting. And then I was at my client meeting. Then I came home and the markets dropped. And so I came up here. So after this, I'm going to go back to working on the website, posting the video. Because I got to get the website working for tomorrow. I got to post that video. Get dinner ready for the kids. Because now it's dinner time. And yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
There's no more peanut butter ones that have the chocolate on the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'll be done in a few minutes here, and then we'll deal with food, okay?
No, I want something to eat in the pantry.
We'll go find something and then ask me if you can have it. All right, guys, going to go over in a little bit. It's about the top of the hour, about 5 minutes. I'm going to breeze through these questions. I got to get going. These kids are hungry, guys. Kids are hungry. Will the news create another short squeeze? The news is negative, so I don't know how it could create a short squeeze. I would think it would create a sell-off, which it's kind of started there. Getting some good support, though. Getting some pretty good support. Where's that trend line coming from? Oh, yeah, it bounced off that trend line, didn't it? Someone just mentioned that, I think it was it Johnny B? I think Johnny B mentioned it bounced off that trend line. XRP support levels. You know, I haven't looked at XRP yet. It's basically at its support level. You can see we've got this drawn out here. We talked about XRP a little more than we normally do in the power hour today, and I'm not interested in XRP. Not at all. It's not acting healthy. But it's basically at its support. If it goes much lower, it will probably continue going lower. Thoughts on ICX? Haven't been asked about ICX yet, so let's go take a peek at that.
Can I have this?
Sure, yeah, you can have that. Go ahead, that's okay. You can have a little bit, that's fine. All right, so we got Icon right there. Yeah, so Oh, Ethan, what are you doing? Why are you trying to grab it from him? Then go get one. Go get one. Don't steal his. So ICX, I'm not a huge fan of the action here, although it does look like some bottoming on these two candles. Nothing's definitive quite yet. But at inverted head and shoulders here, we have the neckline drawn. Looks like we popped up and have come all the way back down into the neckline, into the head and shoulders pattern itself. So not much to do here yet until it crosses this trend line. Right there. Stop loss on Bitcoin. Yeah, Robert, thanks for asking again. Little hectic in these public streams here sometimes. So I think you mentioned 76 or was it 78? 78. Okay. Yeah, I think, well, so here's the thing, is that it still could oscillate back upward. Okay, like if we look at the prior uptrend here, you know, it came down bottom, did oscillate back upward before it did eventually crater. So we can end up rolling over for a while. I think 78 could be a pretty good stop loss, but we could have some retests down here, and that could probably, that's going to be difficult, to be quite frank. There's no really great stop loss. That's the bad part up here. There's no really what I call a natural stop. There's no natural stop here, Robert. So you're probably going to have to, you're going to have to give it too wide of a stop for comfort, or you may as well just kind of, you know, cut the trade as it goes higher. It's going to be difficult going forward. And I was talking with Sratra today. He had a position that he averaged in here. Okay, now hopefully he didn't get too burned in this. But what I said is that it's going to be, there's no big natural stop. We can undercut this low, relatively simply, but there was no reason to sell here. Okay, there was a trend line here that was broken, and that would have been a good point to take some of his profits. But unfortunately, this news hopefully didn't take him out, and hopefully got out with some profit there. Maybe asleep though. I'm not sure. He's usually on the streams if he's up. So. Oh, Ferris with the super chat. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. If you bought BNB at 15,356 sats, when to take profit? Let's go double check. 15,356. Good entry. All right, so here's the thing with taking profits in this type of a market situation. You have a good bottom, okay? That's a really good bottom buying BNB. That's actually really good. You want to let this thing run as much as you can. I think that's the general idea, unless you want to take quick profits. But it's hard in a sentence here, Ferris, to kind of tell you exactly what to do, because no one knows exactly the level that it's going to stop at. We have levels of resistance going forward. We also have what's going to happen. Yes, we also have something with Bitcoin that that's going to happen. So we actually went this, and it took us about 15 minutes on the power hour the other day. I don't have that kind of time today. My kids are beating on me. You can have a few of those. Yeah, that's it though. No more. And we talked about price action. It's going to come down to price action, unfortunately, and that doesn't come down to a price level. Any price level I tell you is going to be wrong. I'm telling you right now. There's no. I can try to draw a fib here and tell you it's going to retrace back to this point. There's all kinds of stuff I could do, but all of them are going to be fallacies. You're going to have to try to find a point where the momentum shifts. If we use this top as an example, let's go back to the see if okay. So on the daily here, this is kind of how this worked out. We had a top here. Okay, we had a top here. People really got interested in BNB after this level right here, once this cup with handle broke right there, okay? It was hard to say exactly when to get out. Now, it did have a trend line here that it was following, and that could have been a good exit point, but at the same time, it was stuck inside a declining channel, okay? So you can't have a realistic expectation if you're trying to swing this for a long time, for it to not to wait in this channel. So really, your best sell signal was the break of this channel. So you would have only had about 50% of your profits on about 15% from 35. But if you're trying to swing it, this is a good exit point, because the price action leads you out of the position. Now, selling aggressively, you probably would have sold maybe somewhere on this candle right here on the cross of this trend line. And being so early in this run, Ferris, it's going to be difficult to actually tell you exactly where to get out. That's where the price action really comes into play. And this is what we do in the power hours. We really try to go through these scenarios. And recently we've talked about trying to focus on taking profits and how to do that. And so if you're really interested in that, I recommend signing up before we raise that price to 65. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I can't tell you a level here, my friend, to kind of keep it real with you. It would be imprudent of me to do that, to be honest with you, because I'm either going to force you into a situation where you're holding into an unhealthy level where things may reverse on you naturally, but you're looking at a point, or I'm going to give you a point and you're going to have a lot more profit. You're going to take profits too soon, and you're going to end up missing out on a bunch, and you're going to hate me either way. So it's a lose-lose scenario for me right there. But you have a good entry, let it run. Look for make sure the volume is healthy. If you have low volume pullbacks, that's good. There is a little trend line right here you can try to respect. Okay, now it may not respect it all the way up. It may undercut it, but you have to make a decision if that's healthy price action from that perspective. So, from what price level would you short if price really sells off? Well, first of all, I would try to short as high as possible, because you have less, you're not going to get whipsawed around. Okay, and that's the hard part. There is not getting whipsawed out of these levels. That's going to be difficult. You want to short as high as you can. So you want to short, like this would be, what? Yes, you can have some cheese. So like off of this little consolidation, like I know this is a 15-minute chart, right? You're not going to get really great trades off of a 15-minute chart only. But you have a consolidation here that was broken to the downside, consolidation here that may get broken to the downside. But you want to short as high as you can. You want to short as high as you can. That's all I got to say. There's no like major level though. So all right, I got to get out of here, guys. Cool Frost. Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer. We're so far down. This would have been a great place to short, but I don't think anyone was really looking to short right there, especially with being so volume. So, Andrew, no, you cannot have cheese. No more cheese for you. You've had too many cheese. Which chart's better looking, Cardano or Ethereum? That's the last question, and then I'm gone. Then I'm gone. Honestly, I don't like that question. So, Ethereum has a very nice, well-defined bear flag here. Cardano has kind of a bullish flag situation going on here. But, big but on that one. Out of the two, I'd probably say Cardano has the better chart. Better chart for longs. Ethereum is set better to fail, to be quite frank with you. And the measured move in Ethereum, this should be funny, is $78. That's not going to happen. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for joining me. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Join the Power Hour. Join the movement. Go eat a cookie. And no cheese for Andrew. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Respect your stops, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.